Did you know that there are four types of millionaires? And I'm going to talk about those today. And there is one that you can become completely legally in about a week. Yes, a week. And I am talking completely legally. Don't want to do anything get us in trouble here. I'm John Alford. I am the music and money guy. I also have a channel, Diffusing Financial Danger. This video might be on both channels, depending on how well this works. And I am a financial literacy coach and financial services agent. So I want to talk to you. We always hear about becoming a millionaire. You might have read the book, The Millionaire Next Door. You might, have the goal of becoming a millionaire. You might already be a millionaire. But I'm going to talk about four different types of millionaires. And, not four different personality types. No, none of that in this video. But I hope you enjoy this. If you're looking for other financial literacy content, I have a financial literacy playlist. Check that out. Hit that like button, hit that subscribe button. Love to hear from you. Some comments about whether or not you found this video helpful or some other videos helpful. And if you like some music, I've got some music on here as well. I have a little bit of my old motorcycle content. Not going to add to that. The channel's niche was too wide. But, we're going to talk about four different types of millionaires today. So let's jump right in there. So the first type of millionaire is a paper millionaire. And that's the kind a lot of us think about. Maybe you own a house and you've owned it for a while, you've been paying down the mortgage, and at the same time, property values have gone up. Some places property values don't go up very much, but others, they go crazy, right? We've seen that recently in Texas, in Florida. A few years ago, Denver actually had some of the fastest growing real estate values in the country. I have a lot of friends from Denver, Denver, Colorado Springs, Monument, all those areas. We're seeing their home prices just explode. I live in Southern California, a little town called Poway outside of San Diego. And, we've seen the same thing. We've seen appreciation. Sure, we had some rough years in the 90s and in 08, 09, but I bought my first townhome in California in 1991. So I've had growing equity ever since then. We have a mortgage still. I won't act like I don't. It's Southern California. Most everybody has a mortgage. But on paper, our house is worth way more than I ever thought a house I'm living in would be. It's a nice house, but it's nothing special. Actually, we're below median for the town we live in, but on paper, we have a good amount of equity in our house. You may too. You may have money in a 401k. You may have stock options. You may have sweat equity in rental real estate. And on paper, if you added up all of your assets, all of your stuff, and you subtracted all of your liabilities, your debt, you'd come up with a number. Some people call that net worth. I like to refer to that as financial net worth or financial worth, because let's be practical. All of us are worth more than just all of our stuff piled up, or at least I hope you are. You are to someone, I guarantee. So, but if we look at that and you have more in assets than you have in liabilities, as soon as that's over $1 million, wherever it is, a 401k, home equity, rental real estate equity, a business, maybe you own really nice collectibles, really nice cars. When all that piled up is worth a million more than your liabilities, you are a paper millionaire. And congratulations if you're in that boat. Get a little something to drink. So that's the first type of millionaire I want to talk about is a paper millionaire. That's a noble goal, and we have to get to that one to get to the second one. But what's the problem with being a paper millionaire? Well, I mean, this isn't a huge problem. You're still a millionaire, but like the equity in our house, if we sold our house to get access to all that equity, we'd have to live somewhere. Now, if we left California and bought something somewhere else, we might be able to take that equity out and do something else with it or even spend it. We could take out a HELOC. We could take out a mortgage on more of the value of our home. But again, we still have to have a house. If you have money in a 401k or you have stock options or equity in a business and you're counting on that money being for your retirement, well, you can't take it all out and spend it today unless you're going to die tomorrow. And we don't want that to happen. So the thing about being a paper millionaire, my dogs are going to bark a little bit. Sorry about that. The thing about being a paper millionaire is usually you're building that up for future use. Either you want someone to inherit the house or sell the house and inherit the equity. Or, we don't know exactly what. I apologize for the dog barking. We've got dachshunds. They bark at anything and everything or nothing, right? So if you're hearing a dog barking in the background, that's one of our dachshunds. Who knows? A leaf might have blown down the street. We just don't know with the dachshunds. But when you're a paper millionaire, you know, yay, congratulations, you're a millionaire, but there's a reason to become that. Hopefully to have somebody inherit that, maybe have it for your retirement to spend, maybe to donate it to a charity. A lot of people create charity remainder trust. Those are all great things to do. And I'd encourage you to try to become a paper millionaire because that's the route to the second type of millionaire. And that is a cash money millionaire, right? Cash money. That is truly when you have $1 million that's not tied up in equity in a business or equity in rental real estate or equity in a house that you could literally take out and stack up, right? You could spend it all right then. Now, you wouldn't be if you're only a cash money millionaire and a dollar and you spend $2, you're not a millionaire anymore. So, right, let's just think about just having the pile of money. That'd be pretty cool, and you always hear about that, cash money millionaire. But that is when you have liquid $1 million or more. That's also a great position to be in because then you have that flexibility. If you love what you're doing or you're doing something and not for money, keep doing it, right? But if you don't like what you're doing, then you could retire and be on your way, having your cash millions. Well, so paper millionaire and cash money millionaires are related, and it takes a while to get there, right? I mean, unless you just invent something out of the blue and it takes off, you're on YouTube, you get monetized, and you're super huge. You now even musicians and actors and actresses that become millionaires, very few of those become millionaires in their teens. I mean, we can probably list them on one hand, right? Maybe a child actor, Macaulay Culkin, Lindsay Lohan, Miley Cyrus, but those folks had some tough times. Musicians like Taylor Swift. Well, she worked at her craft. She's probably getting close to being a billionaire now. Some other musicians, but they work at it year after year after year. They're usually cash money millionaires late in life, in retirement. Maybe a 401k is over $1 million and you're in retirement. So then you're spending it, right? But again, as you spend it down, you spend down below $1 million, 999,999 till you get some interest, until you make a little bit more money, you're not a cash money millionaire anymore. Okay, so that is two of our four types. If you're finding this helpful, you're finding this useful, you haven't done it yet, I'm trying to grow these channels. Subscribe, hit like, throw me a comment. Tell me what kind of content you like, and we'll go from there. Really do apologize about the barking dog if you can hear her. So, okay, so that's two of our types of millionaires. The third type of millionaire I learned from Dr. Myron Golden, Reverend Myron Golden, however you refer to him. I've been listening to him a lot lately. I reference him in some of my other videos. And I don't know if he thought this up or if he got it from somebody else. No matter what, I heard it from him. So I want to give him credit. But Myron Golden talks about the concept of being a virtual millionaire. Because let's think about it. One of the reasons we want to be one of those other types of millionaires, whether it's paper millionaire, cash money millionaire, is we want that money to make us money so that I don't necessarily have to make money. You don't necessarily have to make money. So we want our money to make money. Well, let's say we put our money to work and over that whole $1 million, it's returning 6%. Well, 6% of a million is $60,000. We divide that by 12, and that's 5,000. What if you created an income stream that was $5,000 a month? Practically, you are a millionaire because just as long as that ability to generate that $5,000 is repeatable month after month after month, or maybe averages that month after month after month, you have an asset that is generating the equivalent of $1 million invested at 6%. Are you following me so far? So $1 million making 6% is $60,000. Divide that by 12, that's $5,000 a month. It doesn't have to be one thing. It could be a number of things. Now, if it's one thing and you're really good at that, just keep doing it, right? Maybe even scale it. But I talk about side hustles a lot in other videos. Myron Golden talks about make more offers. He has the make more offer challenge. I'll probably throw a link to that in the description. I'm an affiliate marketer for him. What if I did enough affiliate marketing between Myron Golden, maybe other speakers, maybe other coaches, my Amazon store, whatever it was, writing, my side businesses, whatever they were, and they generated 5,000 a month, I would be a virtual millionaire. You might be a virtual millionaire. Now, this isn't from your main job. Or what if you did? What if you created more value and your employer or a competitor gave you a $60,000 a year raise? Congratulations, you're a virtual millionaire. Obviously, if it's based on our labor and not something that's repeatable and passive, then you're still working. So if it's really great, if you can create a passive income stream, I'll tell you one of the best ways to do that is long-term rental real estate. Buying it and over time, letting the cash flow get up to that level, maybe leveraging multiple properties, maybe leveraging into a larger rental, residential rental. Maybe I have some friends that are just now getting into commercial real estate renting, and they buy a small commercial facility and rent it. Whole different ball of wax. I am not an expert on rental real estate, but I do know that over time, I have friends that are building portfolios that cash flow $3, $4, $5,000 a month. They are becoming virtual millionaires because again, if we change that rate of return, say you're thousand, you're only making 48,000. That's like having $1 million invested at 4.8%. And it just depends on the number that you're looking for. If you could make it with an extra $3,000 a month, that's only 36,000 a year, and that'd be 3.6% interest. And it would take some time. I'm not saying you could do it by, it's early April when I'm shooting this video. I'm not saying you could do it by April 15th or April 20th, which is Easter. 15th is tax day, 20th is Easter here in the US. But what if you did it over the next few years? They're going to pass anyway, and you could become a virtual millionaire. Okay, so we've talked about paper millionaire. We've talked about cash money millionaire. We've talked about virtual millionaire. Now I want to talk about the type of millionaire that you truly could become in a number of days, maybe 2 weeks, maybe if it was really complicated, 3 weeks. That is what I call a medical emergency millionaire. MEM. I may work on that acronym some more, but if you keep hearing me talk about MEM, that means we decided on that. It's living benefits. I've got other videos about living benefits. I'll link one. Maybe it'll be the one that shows up on the end screen. But let's think about it. We're going through life and we have a medical emergency. Well, odds are, if that medical emergency happens to me, I'm not going to be able to work. I have medical insurance. I have my military medical benefits as a retiree, but other things come up, right? Co-pays. Maybe I want a type of treatment that the VA or the Navy hospital doesn't pay for. Who's going to pay the rent? Who's going to pay the other insurances if I'm not working? Who's going to put food on the table for all of us? How am I going to have internet to use while I'm recovering? Well, health insurance doesn't pay for that. Usually a medical emergency is really damaging to household finances. Almost 2/3 of bankruptcies happen because of medical emergencies. Do you know that medical emergency millionaires can be created? You have to take an application. It's with one of the companies that I work with, but I have literally been taking the application, and by the time I'm done, I get word back that the client is approved. Sometimes it happens the next day. Sometimes it happens in 2 days. Sometimes we have to go back and forth a little bit, get a little bit more information, pull their medical record, pull their driving record. Maybe I mistyped a number. I did that recently and I put 2 numbers of a social security number backwards. So we had to correct that, right? But as soon as I corrected it, the account was set up. And you can have medical emergency funds anywhere from 50 or 100,000 all the way up past $1 million. If you qualify, which you qualify based on your health and your life expectancy and your habits. If you're a skydiver, motorcycle racer, spelunker, that's cave exploration, might be a little harder to get them. If you're a former bomb tech like I am, former is the important word, because if you're a bomb tech, kind of hard to get, right? But you could get approved by the end of this week. Yes, that fast. So while it might take, a long, long time to become a cash money millionaire, while it might take a little bit less time, but a long time to become a paper millionaire, unless you're just really good at investing or crypto or starting a business, it takes, a little bit of time to become a virtual millionaire, maybe 2, 3, 4, 5 years of consistent work. You could become a medical emergency millionaire, that fourth type of millionaire, literally within a week to 2 weeks. Now, let's hope you don't need to use it. Yes, you do have to pay a little bit for that. But considering how much you have to invest to become a paper, I mean, I've been paying for mortgages since 1991 to get the equity I have in our house. It's not $1 million yet. I've been putting money in 401ks. I've been putting money in other savings vehicles. It's taken us a while. We're not, I'm not sure we're there yet. We're probably getting close because, again, we have a good bit of equity in our house. But, and hopefully you should be by the time you get to my age, if you've been saving for retirement and living in a house or buying houses and never taking a lot of the equity out. I do have friends that are paper millionaires. I do have friends that are cash money millionaires. I do have some friends that are just getting started and just building back up. But any of us could be a medical emergency millionaire literally in just a few days. And then if you need it, you have access to that. If you don't need it, well, there's a way to save in it, or you just pay the bare minimum to have the coverage in what's called term living benefits life insurance. And you're buying the protection that $1 million emergency fund provides you for pennies on the dollar, and I mean, just think about it. How well would you sleep at night knowing that if you or your family, someone in your family had a medical emergency, you all had $1 million emergency millionaire money? And I mean, in one case, one of our clients got it. His wife really wanted him to. Guys, when our wives are that way, go ahead and get it, right? 18 months later. So he'd been paying for it for 18 months, about $100 a month, $1,800. Over that weekend, he had 16 seizures. They went in, they found a brain tumor. It was the worst kind of brain cancer. He was able to get out of his $1 million medical emergency plan $860,000, right? Paid the house off, set up trust for educating both of their kids, was able to pursue aggressive, traditional, and holistic treatment, and see that his family was taken care of. So that's that fourth type of millionaire, the medical emergency millionaire that you could become within about a week. I'm going to put some information, like I said, coming up soon is going to be the end screen. That's going to show you a link to my video on living benefits if you want to learn more about them. In the description is a link to a Google Docs form that is private, and I will get that information if you're interested in finding out more about how you could become a medical emergency millionaire. And then let's work together to make you a paper millionaire, cash money millionaire. And like I said, I talk about side hustles and other ways to make money in my other videos. And I do have a part-time business helping people with the medical emergency millions. I hope you found this useful. I hope you liked this video. Stay tuned. I'll be putting more financial literacy videos out once a week, probably going to do a music video next, or a compilation, a mixtape based on an old country mixtape I had. So I'll go from music or money to music this next time. Everybody go out there and have a great day.